Hey Patreon, once again guys, thank you for your support. So I want to go ahead and show you some gameplay me using this Tampa Bay Buccaneers mega scheme. I am blending in single back flex tight formation with the outside run just to go ahead and have this as a way to affect the run. This guy actually had pretty good defense for the most part. He did user people down on the line, so you know, not a very conventional way to run defense, but it did cause me some problems, and it did force me in a situation where I did actually have a couple bad passes. So right here, just going ahead and shock option off coverage. He was using some man blitzes. I know that this guy is actually going to go ahead and get a free release with that, so I go ahead and drop that down, get a third and inches. I think I no huddled and went with basically this run, which essentially is a trap with the tackle. And what I should have done is left this as the outside zone because the leverage of his defenders were completely off, and I just jumped into this trap because it's been very super effective. You're going to see me come back to the trap and just show you on how effective it is. He did come off the edge right there and actually got a little blitz, got me into 4th and inches. So I think what I did is I just jumped into just an inside zone. I actually was going to go ahead and run into a play. This is a play I don't really use. It's one of those meta plays. So I just decided to go with an inside zone. And what I'm going to do is I've got a small running back that's light, so if he does get hit by a defender, he'll fall backwards. So what I did is I dove for the first down. In a 4th and inches, when you have a running back that's not big and won't break tackles, it's just better to dive, just to make sure you actually get that. So he's showing me single high, just basically man blitz. Right there, his defender kind of stuck. So basically what he was doing underneath coverage with the man blitz. So he saw me go and hit a hitch route, and then he does underneath coverage with that. So it's like, okay, this guy understands how to do some kind of basic adjustments, and I got to be conscious of that. So here's a play against man blitzes. It's really good. This route, this outside whip will actually get good leverage with it. And then what I'll do is that if the guys float up, I'll check down. But the route that actually works good against any kind of floating coverage is this route over to the right. I was really looking for man blitz because he ran man blitz against me the entire time. These guys fall up in coverage. I'm able to go and hit the running back underneath and pick up about 6 yards or so. If I went and made the progression on the right side, I probably would have picked up a couple more yards. So here's the first mistake that I made against this guy, and it had to do with this defender on the edge. He got past my tackle and started making me rush his ball. Really what I'm reading is I'm watching this defender right here, and if this defender follows with my drag underneath, I'm going to be able to hit this deep comeback route. But the problem with this is when he actually ran his defense, he had pressure coming off the edge, which he was manually using. So he got off the edge, and he got past the tackle. The tackle didn't pick him up. And as a result, I felt the pressure, and I couldn't wait for this little crosser to get across. And this one route was just not coming across. I could have took a shot up top, but really the pressure was in my face, and I got rid of the ball early, and his defensive back actually came down and caught it. So just a bad read by me. I probably should have stayed with more of a progression off the left, but he was mixing in zone and man blitzes, and it caught me out guard. So down 7-0 against this guy. He's showing me basically a cover 2 look. You could see this guy outside shaded, this guy's shaded on the inside, this guy's shaded to the outside, and you got a 2 high safeties. So I think I'm going to go into the shock H option, streak up the tight end, and I should have a pocket right here, and I have a pocket right here. I think this might have been the better option because unless the defender actually floats up against that streak, I should be able to hit it. So this defender actually just did kind of float up, and I think this defender actually floated to the streak. And I'm able to go and hit this pocket right here. A lot of times what happens is I'll be able to catch this racket to house. But unfortunately, he actually tackled me after I caught the ball, but I didn't move the field position to get myself in the field goal range. So that was the primary goal in this type of situations. The time was working as I'm getting the ball in the second half. So now I jump into a play that I threw into my scheme, but to be frank with you, I don't run this enough to really feel comfortable with it. And I've got a streak to clear out this route. This deep post route, if it carries, should be available because this route should pull the guy down. Your hot read is this little hitch route, but I really was just looking to one route the entire way, and I'm just kind of looking for any kind of defender to come out to the flat, and I'm hoping to hit this over the top. I only have one timeout, so that's another thing I was thinking in the back of my head when I put this play in the book. Right here, the hitch, it would have been a smart read, but really it's the time. I only have one timeout, 43 seconds, so I'm really trying to press this route right here. The defenders float up, so I'm thinking, okay, I've got this area. This is going to be open for me to go and hit, and I got the ball late. His defender comes down, bites it, plays it correctly, and goes opposite direction all the way down to the 20-yard line, down to the 15. Actually does a little thing right there. He ends up going up on a score on me, 14-0. So I'm actually in a bind right now. I am getting the ball in the second half, but if I can put any points up on the board with the last 24 seconds, that's great. So now this guy plays a super conservative defense right here. Goes with basically man coverages. I really don't like this at all. I could hit the running back, but I just don't like how this is going to give these time for these guys to react, because the running back is actually kind of open, and I only have one timeout, so I don't really want to burn that right away. So I get to the outside. There's nothing really I feel comfortable with. I'm just going to go and throw the ball away, give myself another shot. But he did show me that he likes to run man coverage, so that basically gave me an idea. Okay, I'm going to run verticals. And I'm going to be looking for this route that's going to cross, because usually he'll get across the defender's face and get to the sideline, and I can actually complete that and catch that out of bounds. So just quick snap it basically as quickly as possible. I get the completion. He dives and gets himself out of position. I still save some time right there with 13 seconds left. I can get a little bit closer into field goal range, because I'm still out of field goal range, at least from a comfortability standpoint. So I go into the shock H option. He's showing me man coverage, and what I do is I stem up this route right here. So the curl route is going to go up like so. I'm going to streak this guy up. He should pull the deep thirds, and I should be able to get this inside the 20-yard line, so I can give myself at least a chip shot field goal and have one shot into the end zone. So right here, I throw the ball. Defender actually does not make a play on the ball. I'm able to go ahead and get the ball into the 13-yard line, which gives me a very reasonable shot into the red zone. So now he double A-gaps me up. I decide to go ahead and run basically a streak with the hope that I can actually hit this. This is really not a good play down in this type of situation. He presses his dudes down. So now I'm peeking over here, and I'm peeking in this guy right here, because if I get a press, I might be able to hit this guy in the corner and actually get to the outside. So I'm peeking. Because I didn't smoke this guy up, he went up, and it didn't really give me an idea that I can throw this outside sideline, so I had to wait just a split second. Pressure comes off the edge, hits me right there, and I actually fumble the ball. I don't get any points out of it, so he gets another break defensively. So 3 turnovers in the first half. I'm in a real major bind against this guy. So I got to put some points on the board. Fortunately for me, I'm only down by 2 possessions. I've got the ball back. If I get one more stop, I'm going to be pretty good. So right here, I go ahead and jump into this play. I've got myself basically a mesh concept, and I've got the little hitch. This is my man read, or this is my man read. And if it's zone coverage is where these guys float up, I'll look for the mesh guys underneath. So that's kind of like my progressions when I'm looking at. These guys are all floating up. I'm going to go and check it down to the tight end underneath and pick up a 9-yard gainer on that. I know huddle. I've got basically the outside run. I go ahead and run that. It actually clicks onto the guy. I don't like the blocking with the defender. I probably should. Yeah, I should have went out. Definitely. I had a double team right here. This guy was doubled. I should have went to the outside. If I would have went outside, that would have been a lot better play, a bigger play. I just got a little bit nervous because it just didn't work out that well. So I go ahead and do an 0-1 trap, and the reason I'm doing an 0-1 trap is that I got this gap open. Pull guard goes up to the next level, and I should be able to go ahead and run the ball straight up the middle of the field. But the way this is aligned, he's got an extra blocker on this side. So if I would have flipped it so the pull guard went this way, the blocking would have been a little bit better, would have had a little bit better run fit type stuff to be able to fill that up. Pretty much what happens is he actually usered his guy into the hole. Blocking was subpar, and there was an extra blocker right there that actually kind of messed things up. If I would have went to the opposite, if I would have flipped the play the opposite direction, it probably wouldn't be able to do a better play. So here's a good series that I want to share with you. This guy's in double A gap. So he's in double A gap type defense. I'm going to jump into this this tight end trap play where I've got basically 6 blockers. Look what this does to double A gap. Really destroyed this. This guy was playing people on the line. I'm able to go ahead and pick up monster yards right up in the middle of the field. And I'm like, if this guy stays in a double A gap, I'm going to keep doing this. So I go ahead and no huddle, jump back into the tackle trap. He makes an adjustment. I think he goes into cover 3. But look at how these guys are just pulling out to go into a zone, just giving me a monster lane right up the middle of the field. So once again, I go ahead and get another 12, 15 yards on that. I'm going to no huddle once again. I want him in this defense. Like, you're going to go in this double A gap. I've got a great run. It's really good against double A gap. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. Actually, I pick up 6 yards on that. No huddle again. I don't want him getting out of this defense. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a shot up top. He switches his defense up completely. Goes into a different type of a defense. It's like a dime defense. And I go ahead and just take a shot right over the top. Now, if he would have clicked on, he could have picked that off. But basically, it was me noticing he was in double A gap, and I can jump into that run play that just essentially destroyed it. So that's one of the things that when you start playing these games, you play these playing the game and start using the schemes, you'll find out what defenses work better against certain defenses, and that trap play is really good. Now, okay, here's a one-play touchdown. You can see this guy is leveraged out. I've got these 2 guys up. He is kind of like slightly in. But look at this defender. This defender is completely down on the line. What I'm seeing when I see this coverage is I'm seeing cover 6. This is a cover 6 coverage match. And if I do my slant route, what happens is these defenders will slide out and it will give me a touchdown play over the top. So he jumped into cover 6. I read it correctly. He didn't really disguise his coverage too much. And I'm able to go ahead and get a nice little completion. And I'm able to go ahead and put the ball into the end zone against this guy because he jumped into cover 6. And it's kind of a palms coverage on that backside, and that's why I actually did that. So a really good read progression by me in this type of situation. So he ends up trying to kick a field goal to win, to go up on a possession. Misses the field goal and puts me in a situation where I can go against, get an opportunity to kick a field goal. He's playing man coverage against me. I figured I'm going to go ahead and show this guy a run, because it really had some good yardage, and if I can get myself, a 20-yard gainer on an easy run, that's going to be well worth it. So I go ahead and jump into the run play. I don't want to show any kind of auto motion or like that, and I think what he did is he made it adjusted his guys right here. He shifted his guys off. But look at the blocking. The blocking's perfect. I'm able to go ahead and pick up, almost 15 yards on that run play. But I can't go back to that again because basically I only have 1 timeout left, and that's going to put me in a situation where if I take a bad play, I won't be able to kick a field goal. So I need 10 yards to get myself into field goal range right here. He's pressed. He's showing me he's got a 2-high shell, and he's got these guys shaded on the inside. This is basically cover 2 man. This is a cover 2 man coverage. And when I see this type of stuff, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the cover 2 man beater. And the play that I like to use in this cover 2 man is basically the play action plays, because play action plays will pull people down on a run fits, and it's going to be this play right here, play action wide receiver in. Now I need to go ahead and preoccupy this safety right here. But where I'm looking at is this guy right here. What happens is this post route will actually pull this defender and pull him in, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and pop this route right here for potentially the game-winning touchdown. But look what he does with his user. He actually plays this slot defender and goes back into the coverage and reads the route correctly and falls into the passing lane. I almost got picked off right there. That was a huge play for me, and a huge play, a misplay by him. Now he pulls his guys off a little bit, so he's concerned about Hill. He's like, I'm not going to get beat by Hill. So this is what I do. I streak this guy up, so I pull the safety out. This streak is going to go ahead and pull the safety out, and I'm going to table route the running back out to go ahead and pull another defender. And my hope is to go ahead and let this little, out and up route, the sluggo route, basically go ahead and get open in the middle of the field. So that's what I'm looking for. I haven't hit this guy with the tight end too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to do this, get the ball into the end zone right there. And what happens is the route actually comes off late, but he's only sending 3 guys. I'm blocking 5 guys. Everything's picked up perfectly, and you can see I get the tight end gets past the coverage right there, and I get the ball down to the 5-yard line. And what he does is he burns his last time out. That was a bad decision. He should have saved it for me to go and kick the field goal. Not a very good decision with his clock management right there. I'm able to go ahead. I do, like he does, a very bunch type stuff. I'm going to go an outside run. I've got obviously a 96 speed running back, one of the fastest running backs in the game. I motion my guys over. I get blocking. He clicks onto the wrong guy, and I'm out there too deep. He can't get out there. So I'm able to go ahead and get a touchdown against this guy and come back. Basically 21 points in the second half to get back into this game. He ends up quitting out because I pick up a victory. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. Until next time.